is when she was appointed.
Megha, if the appraisals happen by email sent by a yogi, I'm sure all the salaried people in the country have been, ever since this has been exposed, they are looking for where this yogi is. Can you please, so instead of approaching their HR, they are now approaching the yogi that please send a mail to my HR so I can be appraised. Well, jokes apart, I think it's a flaw in the corporate governance. The powers given to the board of directors, to the MD and CEO, authorizes her to appoint a person like this. One. Two, it authorizes her to give him appraisals without consulting the board of directors or with consulting the board of directors, where she's got veto powers. Now, for a moment, Megha, with your permission, I would like to, because a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of viewers of NewsX would like to know what exactly is co-location, because it's a very technical term, and from the first day when this scam was unearthed, when the SEBI report came, I was among the first people to say that either this has been probably misused by some of the brokers, or this has been misused by some of the companies who are listed there, or this has been misused by NSE operations itself. So I think my second apprehension has come true, because this co-location scam, so if you allow me, I can in very brief explain what exactly is co-location scam. Do I have your permission,
yes,
Megha?
Absolutely. The fact that it did not start 2013, 2009 is when its inception began, without the knowledge of SEBI or any of these discussion points happening. Yes, go ahead, because that's important and a much larger scam in the making over here.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And this, if you backtrack this to the visits made to Seychelles, to Mauritius, to Singapore, you would probably start connecting the threads as to how. So co-location, basically when you trade on National Stock Exchange, you are given a screen and you trade on the basis of prices which reflect on the screen. Now, NSE has got some preferential server space where some of the brokers can be included, and they can pick up this space, obviously by way of payment or because of influence. When they get this preference, you can actually see the prices which a normal broker cannot, because the trading happens in milliseconds and even our eyes cannot catch the prices. So if you get into this preferential co-location space, you can actually pick up the prices which the others cannot. So I get an undue advantage over the other brokers by picking up prices which rest of the world does not get. Total amount, Megha, which I am estimating and which has been also calculated, is about 50,000 crores. Now 50,000 crores is the gain probably made by these brokers because of this co-location preferential treatment, shall I say. Now, how much of this amount was shared with the NSE management, with Chitra Ramakrishnan or others, or was it not shared, is for the investigating agencies to find out. But basically, there is more to it than appears in Yogi's emails or than simply promoting a person to the top post. I think there is more to it than our eyes can see, and I'm sure CBI, Income Tax, in an unbiased investigation would be able to reveal what was the intention of this Yogi's email business, who was this Yogi, whether it was Anand Subramaniam itself who was the Yogi, because it's not difficult to trace out the IP address and the server of an email originating. I mean, you cannot have an email coming from Himalayas where there is no server, there is no IP address. Technology allows you to dwell deep into and find out who is behind sending these mails. I'm sure it's a matter of days. If the investigation is unbiased, it will just take a few days, Megha, to find out who exactly was behind it and who was the beneficiary, actual beneficiary, and how much was the amount which was actually taken away, swindled because of this whole scam.
Okay, all right. That's a detailed explanation about the co-location scam, and it's not with the appointment of Chitra as the managing director and the CEO back in 2013 that it commenced. 2009 is when this entire operation was founded. What was brought about, the largest scheme of things, 50,000 crores, the estimate that has been put out by Sharat Kohli. It could be multi-crore times more, who knows. Manish Gupta, if you could get into the conversation. And now we're talking about these, these 3-4 key players. The most interesting over here being this unknown entity by the name of Himalayan Yogi, or this cosmic force that has been referred by Chitra. You know, when she came out first, she said she had no physical connection whatsoever with him. He only used to communicate to her via email. Now these emails have been exposed. They have been brought in public domain, and it has been pointed out that there have been meetings not only in New Delhi, but also in Seychelles, also in Singapore, several other countries. So what does this all point to? And if this investigation with the whistleblower bringing about these issues to the fore back in 2015 and this is 2022, why has it taken all this time? Why has all this time elapsed before a strong investigation has been put forth by the IT department, by the Enforcement Directorate and SABA itself?
Names of the people who have been left by SEBI. SEBI has been very soft on people, on all the key accused, its orders. And
can I come in, Megha, here?
Yes, quickly. Palak, we'll try to get your audio fixed. There seems to be a bandwidth problem over there. Your voice keeps getting broken. But Sharat Kohli, sooner or later the name is going to be popped out. Why this, facade that has been created? You think the public would be so naive that the legal advisors of Chitra are now telling her to concoct the story of this yogi sitting in the Himalayas and having a cosmic connection with her and giving her advice on professional and personal matters for 20 long years, and she's so dumb and stupid to be following this? Come on, she is the managing director of the NSE, was the topmost woman in the Forbes magazine back in 2013 when her appointment came through.
Yes, indeed, Megha. She was number 17 on the most powerful women when the list came out back then. But you know this whole theory of yogi sending emails. That's a very pertinent point you have raised. Now, what could be the logic? Because it's been years and years since this happened. I think all you need is a week to destroy the evidence. And when you get these many number of years, you may be able to find out who the person sending the mails is. But what you will find difficult here is to pinpoint, first of all, the quantum of money which has been swindled, or the loss to NSE, or the loss to investors, or a loss to the country as a whole. One. Two, you will find it difficult to find the whole gang. You will find it difficult to pinpoint the number of people who were involved, because forensic evidence concept basically moves on the trail being left behind the evidence. Now, once there is a flux of time, you find this trail to get difficult to be established. That's the point. But what is at stake here, Megha? Stake is that during the pandemic over the last 2 years, a lot of people who lost their jobs and whose businesses shut down, those small businesses, they switched to stock markets for their living. I mean, I know 1.42 crore people have been added as new investors or traders, whatever, in the year 2021. Total quantum, Megha, now stands at 8 crore people, which is a lot of number. $3.4 trillion of market cap. As you spoke in rupees, I am converting it to dollars. Which is more than the Indian GDP. I think the scam, the overall stakes are too high for this investigation. I agree with my co-panelists, the investigation should not move slow, first of all. I think there should be a 360-degree crackdown, so that whatever is left out of the evidence, although I doubt there is anything major which the scamsters have left, but if there is something left out of the evidence, it should not disappear in smoke. I think there is an absolute comprehensive approach required. Every day from here on, Megha, would matter. And I think every passing day would take us away from a very forthright conclusion and holding these scamsters guilty. So I think the approach has to be very calculated. My suggestion is that Finance Ministry, the Serious Fraud Investigation Office, SFIO, Enforcement Directorate, CBI, Income Tax, RBI, SEBI, they should all come together, form a coordinated team. If each agency keeps doing their own investigation, I'm afraid they may not be able to reach a very, very definite conclusion.
Okay.
So a coordinated effort can only work